Good morning Year 3 and welcome to today's maths video. Today's maths video is for Monday the 1st of March. This week we're going to be continuing to learn about fractions. Now this week you've also got to look out for your assignment task uploaded to Teams, which should be tomorrow, Tuesday. So let's have a look at today's Fluent in 5. If you've not completed it already, please pause the screen and have a go. What I have done is I've provided some resources that may support you if you're struggling with this. So if you can't do any of them, please have a think about how you could use those resources. So let's have a look at the answers. Now this one was tricky because it actually had something left called a remainder, and I know we haven't covered these before, so I wanted to talk it through with you just to make sure you're okay. But we'll go through all of the other ones first. So if you had 8 times 8, then you have 64. Now you could have drawn 8 groups and put 8 inside each to work that out. Or you may have been able to use a different times table fact, do 8 times 4, for example, which is 32, and double it. But very well done if you got the answer in whichever way you got it. Then I'm going to skip this one and come back to it in a minute. So here we've got 5 6 take away 3 6. Now I know we haven't done this yet in the videos and the lessons, but I'm starting trying to drip feed it in because it is something we're going to look at. So if we have a look here, I know that I have 6 equal parts in my whole. So I've drawn a bar that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. Then my first fraction is looking at 5 parts out of the 6. So I coloured in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this part here represented my 5 6ths. I then had to take away 3 of my 6ths. So I've crossed off 1, 2, 3 6ths. And then when I had 5 6ths and I removed 3 6ths, I was left with 2 6ths. So it's not 2 over 0 because I'm not taking this away because the fraction I'm dealing with had 6 equal parts. I took away from a fraction that had 6 equal parts, so my ending fraction will still have 6 equal parts, as you can see here from my picture. So it doesn't change like that. You had 5 6ths, you removed 3 6ths, and you ended up with 2 6ths. So really, really well done if you got that one correct. Then looking at D, hopefully you did some column addition. Don't know why I wrote the 1 first then, sorry, losing my mind. So you added those two together. 2 add 9 is 11, so you would have had to regroup 1 10. Then 8 add 1 is 9, but add 1 more 10 and you get 10 tens, which you know is 100. So you put the 100 in the hundreds column. Then 6 add 2 is 800, add your regrouped 100, which is 901. So well done if you got that right. Now, if we look at B, we had 74 to divide by 4. Now, I know that I'm sharing into 4 equal groups, so I made my 4 equal groups. Sorry, they're not quite equal, but please forgive me. Then I represented my 74 with 10s and 1s. So I know that I had, if I just move it up for a minute so you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10s and 1, 2, 3, 4 1s. Now I share some of my 7 10s into my groups. So I can share 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Now I can't share these yet because if I put that in there and that in there and that in there, I have 2 10s in here, 2 10s in here, 2 10s in here, but only 1 10 in there. And my groups have to be equal. So what I do is I regroup that into 30 ones. So I'd have 30 dots. What I was then able to do when I regrouped it into my 30 ones was then share my ones equally into my group. Now when I'd shared them, I'd been able to share all 28, but I had 2 left. Now I don't put those in because my groups wouldn't be equal, and it's really important that my groups are equal. So what I have is I have 18, 1 10 and 8 ones in each group and 2 left, and we call that a remainder. They are remaining. So I had 18 in each group with 2 left over. Please don't panic if you found that really tricky. We'll keep doing it, it's not a problem, but I just thought I'd introduce it in case any of you fancied an extra challenge. If you got that right, very well done. So today's learning. Today we are going to, oh look, hey, subtracting fractions. Today we are going to look at learning to add and subtract fractions. So this is a let's learn. It says, Ella eats 1/5 of a pizza. Ty eats 3/5 of it. Now, of it just means of the same pizza. So here you've got Ella having her 1 part out of 5, and here you've got Ty having his 3 parts out of 5. Now it asks us what fraction of the pizza do they eat all together. So remember, it's the same pizza. So what we need to do is put Ella's part together with Ty's parts. Now we still haven't got a whole pizza, but we have 1/5 added to 3/5. And again, we've got it here as a bar. 1/5 added to 3/5. And look how many fifths we've got in total, or how many slices we've got in total. 1 slice out of 5 and 3 slices out of 5 go together to make 4 slices out of 5. Now it's still got a 5th at the bottom. It doesn't become a 10th because look, we haven't ended up with 10 equal pieces. We've still got 5 equal pieces because the pizza was still cut into just 5 slices. So we had 1 out of 5 slices, 3 out of 5 slices, and when we put all of those together, we've now got 4 out of the 5 slices. We haven't cut our pizza up any smaller. And again, with our bar, we had 1 out of 5 and 3 out of 5. And when we put those fifths together, we still have fifths because our whole is still cut into 5 equal parts. So we just add your top numbers. You just add your numerators because you're adding your parts together. You're just putting the parts together. So if you have 1/5 and you add it to 3/5, you now have 4/5, and 1 added 3 is 4. So they ate 4/5 of the pizza altogether. So let's have a look at another one. Here we've got 3/8 and we're adding it to 4/8. I'd like to pause the video and have a go at putting the answers into the box if you haven't already, because I'm going to go through them. So if you've got 3/8 here, 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're adding it and you're putting it together. Now remember, adding is just putting things together. We're just adding them together. So we're adding 4/8, and here I've represented that as 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm still only dealing with 8 whole equal parts. So I've added my 3 equal parts to my 4 equal parts. So in total, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. So I've got 7 parts in total. Now my denominator, my bottom number is still how many equal parts the whole has been cut into. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's still 8ths because my fraction is still 8ths. My whole has still been cut into 8 equal pieces. It doesn't become 16 because that would mean that I made my bar and my parts even smaller, but I haven't done that. It's still 8ths. So 3/8 plus 4/8 is 7/8, as you can see here. Then if we look at the other one, well, what is 2/9 add 3/9? So here I've got my 2/9, 2 out of 9 equal parts. And here I've got 3/9, 3 out of 9 equal parts. So what is it when I put them together? Well, I now have still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 equal parts. My denominator hasn't changed because I'm still looking at 9ths. And then if I add them together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 5/9. Number 4, now I'm adding more than one here. So let's adding more than one fraction together here. So let's have a look. Here I've got 1 part out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is this bit here, isn't it? I've got 1/7. This part of the bar represents 2 out of the 7. So I've got 2/7. That's this bit here. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4 parts out of the 7. Now what do I get if I put all of those together? Well, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 parts out of my 7 parts, but I've also got the whole bar. So if your numerator, your amount of parts, is the same as the amount of equal parts in total, you've got a whole. I've got the whole bar, and we can write that as well as the number 1, because 1 represents 1 whole. So here I've got the whole bar.